Hi, JP Forney of the Movie Jerks here, coming to you on day 11 of 31 Days of Horror, the month where I watch a horror film I've never seen every day leading up to Halloween. So what do we got for day 11? Well, yesterday we had You Are Not My Mother. Today we get Chuck Steele, Night of the Trampires. Oh, cool. Claymation. Okay, so this one reads, it's not 1985 anymore. It's 1986. And Chuck Steele is the best goddamn cop in the force, according to his long-suffering boss, Captain Jack Shitz. But even this maverick, renegade, loose cannon, lone wolf, cop on the edge, who doesn't play by the rules, has his work cut out when the government of LA decides to reduce the license hours for clubs and bars, triggering a sudden He warns a disbelieving Chuck that an evil scourge is about to descend on the city of Los Angeles. The Scourge of the Trampires, a mutated hybrid of vampire and tramp. Wow. That's a novel for a synopsis, but claymation, I'm in. Chuck Steele, Night of the Trampires, day 11.
There is something special about stop-motion animation that just fits perfectly in the Halloween season. This is probably because of Tim Burton's iconic Nightmare Before Christmas, which has imagery now engraved into our Halloween holidays. But the stop-motion animation plays nicely in the creation of making monsters. For starters, there is barely any limit to the design and physicalities. And on top of that, even the smoothest of motion capture still has an element of the uncanny valley, with our brains recognizing that the material is real. However, the movements are irregular and slightly imperfect. And some films have learned how to use this imperfection and this unique jittery movement to great effect. For instance, the king of stop motion himself, Ray Harryhausen's skeleton fight in Jason and the Argonauts. The shaky and jumpy movements of the skeletons give them more depth, making them look more aggravated, vicious, and bloodthirsty. And while we have become accustomed to these stop motion movements, it still lends nicely to alien and out-of-this-world monstrosities. Now, considering the time it takes to make one of these stop-motion films, and due to a couple box office bombs in our recent history, we have seen a bit of a decline in the stop-motion animation films. Except for on the holidays. And this is probably due to the iconic work of Rankin Bass Productions, as they captured such an innocence to the Christmas holidays. Stop motion brings out such beautiful colors, it's luminous, and captures the spirit of the holidays perfectly. And now with Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio coming out this Christmas season, I am sure the craftsmanship, the artistry, and the beauty of this art form will rise in elegance and quality. And then we get Chuck Steele, Night of the Trampires.
It's not what it looks like.
Somebody get some lube!
Written, directed, and the voice of Chuck Steele himself, Mike Mort started this concept back in 2001, and this is his first feature film. I would like to recommend the short film Chuck Steele Raging Balls, which is currently playing on YouTube. The film is a tribute to over-the-top action movies of the 80s, and it's practically non-stop action, violence, one-liners,
Never anything on TV!
and a whole lot of offensive humor. Some jokes work,
Don't worry, Captain. Your ass is safe in my hands. No, wait a second.
and some jokes may have worked back in the 80s. Regardless of some of the off-color jokes, though, this film is highly entertaining. The pacing is great, and it has a great understanding of action geography and choreography. always setting up and delivering the most over-the-top, yet fitting to this world, action sequences. And as far as the horror goes, Chuck Steele, Night of the Trampires, delivers one of the grossest final monsters I have seen in years, that I cannot even show the full body design, as to avoid being removed from YouTube. There's plenty of run-on jokes, callbacks, and jokes that go way too far, and I couldn't have been more charmed by all of it. Now, I believe this goes without saying, but I might as well hammer down on this message. This film is not for kids. And there you have it. Day 11 of 31 Days of Horror. This time I watched Chuck Steele, Night of the Trampires. Let us know what your favorite stop-motion animated films are. If you're curious about the other 31 films we're watching for Halloween, be sure to hit the subscribe button below. And for more information about the Movie Jerks, you can go to www.themoviejerks.ca.